Hello. No. Montevideo. Yeah. Can't hear. Nothing. All right. Good evening to you. We are here back live from CRNFC, home of rugby, to witness a game against Airforce. Airforce taking over CRNFC. A wonderful, beautiful Saturday afternoon today. As you can see, this is the second game CRN and Airforce will be playing at this venue. CA had a wonderful start last week when they took on Army. Unfortunately, they were managed to hold on the breath, even though they were leading 16 points to 6 at Lemons. Army coming back strong in the second half, managed to secure, probably they must be actually happy with a draw, 16-all draw. And Air Force, in the other hand, was actually taking over Kandy. Started up with a fantastic 12 points to 15 in the halftime. Showed some momentum, but unfortunately, Kandy managed to take them and win quite comfortably. As you can see, Shamli Nawaz, coached by Shamli Nawaz and assisted by Dilan Zoiza. Both were former CRNFC rugby players. Shamli captained Isipatan in 1998 and went on to captain CRNFC and played Sri Lanka as well. And in the other hand, we have Dushant Luke, who was initially played for. Okay, we have the team card right here now. CRNFC standing. Johan Dilshan Jaya will be taking on Supun's role as the hooker. Indur Ranatunga. Gan Dilshan, most experienced, lock forward with Shehan Kalaniagoda. Jero Dhananjaya. What a performance he had last week. A flanker, as well as Achit Radishan. Dan Zaber, a fantastic impact player, just came out of Wesley, and he will be taking on number 8 with Kavindu da Costa, the most experienced captain. A fantastic player. And Kalindu had a very much a fairly good game last week. And Yasas Kavindu, we have Dube Dore back in action. Unfortunately, he was out due to COVID last week, but here he is. Will be an added strength for CRNFC in place kicking. Kanchan Ramanayaka, a fantastic game he had as well. I think he was the player of the match. And good experience to CRNFC line. We have Eranda Harshana and Gamanu Chetia again from St. Joseph's. He's back again, just recovered from an ankle injury. Boy, oh boy, what a speedster he is. So we can expect a really good game. And this is CRNFC standing. We can move on to Air Force. Once again, a pretty much young side. Manuka Pereira will be leading the pack, or will be as a prop forward with Parakram Ratnayaka, Kanishka, and Rumesh Vasanta. Shashika will be flanked with Shashika Fernando, Ravindu Hettiarachi, and Vimukti Fernando. The number 8, Gimhana Silva. Nuan Pereira is the captain. Again, he is the scrum half of the side. Had a fairly good game last week or rather. Ishara Madhushan with Pramod Patmasankar and Surya Kishant. Gante Vidyamalgoda, the most senior player, who was also instrumental in many matches, especially playing as a fly half. He is a match winner as well as a very big strategic player, along with Darshan Adabre and Fariz Ali. So that is the team card for Air Force. Like I said, once again, Air Force had a very good start last season, so it's going to be a challenge this way as well. So let's look at the last week's highlights.
Did manage to get things over, and a lovely kick there CRNFC back in the lead thanks to a second penalty from Kavindu Di Costa. 6 points to 3. Well collected there in the front by the lock forward for CRNFC as CRNFC move forward, and that's a score there for Supun. I'm sure he has plenty of experience doing that for Royal College, and now CRNFC, and right Di Costa with the kick, but it does not manage to pierce the posts as a short line out there thrown to Deshapriya as Army set up a maul. Adhikaram seems to be at the back of the maul with the ball. And the scrum off pushing his way through, and Adhikaram dives over for the first try of Army Sports Club. And everything to play for as Kalindu Nandila kicks things off for CRNFC. Good collection there by Madhuranga as he sets things up for Army Sports Club. Kumara Singh gives it off to Gayan Sal in the hip, hurried, and does not manage to put the ball anywhere to him as a good contest there at the breakdown, and as Army Sports Club
Welcome to this game between Havelock Sports Club and Navy Sports Club. It will be Navy to kick off the game under lights here at Havelock Sports Club grounds. Good high-hanging kick there to restart. Havelock's gather it cleanly. Ratmalana, and this is the second game of the night as Vivek Raul unable to win that. He gets it wrong. Sigh of relief for Heavy Sports Club. This time Vimukti will...
So the points table is as such. Havelocks is leading the points table with 11 points. And we are back live in CRNFC. Here we are. Here it is. Airforce is going to take over CRNFC. The gentleman in red. Sia had some COVID concerns last week, but they are back again with a strong outfit with Zube Dore with the kick in tee. Then we have Kanchan Ramanayaka just coming in. What a fantastic game Kanchan had last week, and we can expect some firepower this week as well.
Good afternoon, everybody. Joining us here as Airforce Sports Club prepare to take on CRNFC at the CR London Malasekar. I think CRNFC will have plenty to play for in this game as they come off a bit of a shocking draw at Havelock Park as they took on Army, but and Airforce also will have plenty to play for.
So it's a special game for CR. So CR is actually celebrating their centenary year. Started in 1922, so 2022 is a centenary year, and the first game that they are going to play in this season. So it's a special game for CR. And Air Force, they haven't managed to have a win, so they will be actually good contender as well. So as we can see, the sunlight that's actually right across the field, not harming anyone's way. And there's a kickoff. Doesn't travel 10 meters. Sion plays on. That was a very good move by Jero. Kavindu Di Costa feeding. Good to have Zube Dore. Kanchan Ramanayaka support playing. First on hits by Sia. I think it all started from the not 10 and a cardinal error by Sia and Airforce just trying to get out of the jail. As you can see, good pressure. Sia player has been isolated just by one support player, and Airforce wins a penalty.
I think the referee is now happy with the hands being used in the ruck there by the CR lad. Gamun Chetia got isolated, and good play by the Airforce team to just capitalize on the opportunity, and they flooded the breakdown, and there was no stopping them as CRNFC conceded the penalty.
Absolutely. I think they might try for a driving ball over here as well. Again, Airforce, I mean, all the forces have that strength in terms of their lineouts, and Shamli Nawaz being the instrumental key behind this, the coaching team. Unfortunately, Supun will not be playing today's game. He just tied the knot, so he'll be out for this game, and probably we can expect him in the next game after could expect a fresh start. Good tackle by Kanchan Ramanayaka. I think spot on. Got him upright. Some big hits, as you can see. Airforce seems to be having a bit of a upright body position. Fantastic tackle once again by CRNFC. That was by Gayan. And winning that quick decision, a very good play by Kavindu Di Costa. A quick move over there. Very nippy scrum off. CR trying to work out the line. I think that was a good opportunity to get out of the danger zone. And Zubey Dore doing the kicking duties. Back again, Airforce trying to counter-attack. Not catching it clearly. Basil for Altin CR has. Airforce trying to put pressure over there. Kavindu once again with a kick. I think he saw that space behind. Very good kick. But referee calls it. It was a fall back. And once again, a good opportunity to CRNFC to counter-attack. Just near the halfway mark. Some strong rucking as the captain. Jiro has been isolated. Just coming, the support's coming in. Good move actually by CRNFC once again, as you can see. Gamanu Chetia popping up. And there goes Gamanu Chetia for the first try for CRNFC. Within just 4 minutes of the play. Wonderful to have Gamanu Chetia after ankle injury. Last week he was out. And here he is from number 15. And that's the coaching team along with the bench.
I think there was some lovely bit of play there by the wing three-quarter. Yasas Kavindu, he beat the man on the outside and managed to pop the ball inside. And Gamanu Chetia found himself just having a stroll towards the try line for the first try of the game. So just 5 minutes on the board, and CRNFC with the early advantage.
So the kicking duty is taken over by Yasas Kavindu, a young lad from Science, if I'm not mistaken. A good place kicker, and this is what actually CR need. I think last match as well, as you saw, Romero, they missed some opportunities, especially in terms of getting those 3-pointers, and that costed the game. So it's very vital that they actually place this kick.
pushed wide there by the win three-quarter. However, the scores remain 5-0 in favor of CRNFC, and I think now Airforce will be just hoping to pin CRNFC down in their own half and try to win a penalty. But if you're a CR supporter, you'll be wanting them to just clear their lines and get the pressure back on the visitors.
Absolutely. It's always better to actually have that lead, very early lead, that gives the morale as well as some momentum as well to the team. Finding the 10 meters, but couldn't manage to hold on, and CRNFC retaining the ball. I think one of their strategies is actually just to kick on that 10-meter line and to put pressure. As you can see, the first kick was actually was missed, and here again Kavindu Da Costa spotting on that gap, trying to run from the 22. Some good leg drive. Some big forwards the Airforce all have. Some power drive as well. Early on kicking by both teams. Can't find the touch. But unfortunately, that seems to be a full out. So referee will have to bring the play back.
Yes, I think the fly half for Airforce Ishara will be quite pleased with the outcome of that mistake by Gamunu Jethia. And now Airforce with straight away with another opportunity to attack, as we see this not too good of a kick by Gamunu. He will be disappointed with that. I think it just skewed off the boot, and now it will be a big hooker to throw for Airforce Sports Club.
Good attacking opportunity to Airforce as well, especially just in the 40-meter line. As you can see, the line is being formed. Number 10 carrying over the ball and bringing back in the blind side as the forwards have been there. Good move, and here it is. A good breakthrough by Airforce, scoring just under the post. Once again, as you can see, I think that is what they wanted. A midfield hit, and then bringing it back on the blind side, where CR was not actually ready to defend.
Yes, indeed, and I think CR, they nicely played the short man on the blind side. A good cutout pass by Gayanthi Iddamal and the number 4 lock forward Ravindu Hettiarachi gave it to Parakrama, and he returned the favour, and Ravindu Hettiarachi scores under the post for Airforce to draw the scores level with the conversion to come.
We just talking about the momentum and that lead, but as you can see now, Airforce with the kick coming in. That's 7 points to 5, and Airforce in the lead right now.
Yes, lovely kick there by the skipper Nuan Pereira, and Airforce managed to get the lead in this game for the first time.
We saw, I think, Gayan coming into the play. Gayan Iddamal, the most senior player for Airforce, has always been an instrumental steering wheel actually in terms of winning the game and turning it around. And as you can see, I think he saw that blind spot, or probably it was a planned move where it was the forwards taking on a couple of forwards as well as backliners as well. A deep kick. Charge is not pretty strong, and Airforce just got out of the jail.
I think good work there by the skipper again on that occasion. Cleared his lines and just put the pressure back on CRNFC.
What we actually expect when it comes to a deep kick is a good charge, but over here the kicker had ample time to collect the ball, to pass it and then to kick back. So I think what is lacking over here is the charging, especially in terms of their kicking as well. Whereas Airforce, on the other hand, is pretty much short kicks which are contestable. So the first line out to CRNFC. A pretty short one. As you know, CR is actually not playing their experienced hooker Supun. So they are with Tuan Dilshan Jaya, who's there as a hooker. An opportunity to CR. just under the post, but not quite sure whether they would actually take this kick.
Yes, the referee penalizing the Airforce man for just not supporting his body weight on that occasion, and straight in front, but CRNFC opt against the points, and they seem to be going for touch with Murshid Dure.
Clearance by Zubey Dure. Another opportunity to CRNFC. One of their strengths is actually their driving ball. They are just about 10 meters away from the try line, or rather in the 22 mark. It's going to be a short man line out. Two spectators we can see. CR trying to drive that ball as usual, trying to suck all the numbers, Airforce numbers, and then moving out wide. Support, once again, support play was a bit late, and we saw this last week as well. As you can remember, Romario, there were a couple of instances where CR was penalized for the same thing, where the support playing was not there.
Yeah, I think the ball carrier is has to wait for support play, and I think that's what calls for the extra roll. But unfortunately, it's illegal, and the referee penalizes it, rightly so. And now we are for Sports Club with another opportunity.
Airforce trying to get out of the jail, and just outside the CRNFC 22.
Overthrown line out there by Airforce, and Gayan Dilshan straight away on the attack. Quick ball coming as Kavindu clears. Kalidu Nandila cuts out pass to Kanchan Ramanayaka as he brings out some good leg drive. Is finally brought down. Kavindu gives it out to the big prop forward as he bumps off the first man and sets up play. But unfortunately, yet again, CRNFC holding on, penalized inside their own half.
I think that was a good leg drive. Sia could have waited a bit to...
I think this is what Shamli Nawaz coached teams usually do. They manage to absorb the pressure and win the penalty. And on that occasion as well, Airforce come up triumph at the breakdown. CRNFC caught napping on that occasion. Good pass there by Ishara Madhushan, and sets up a play. Airforce inside center field. Kick is charged down, but the referee goes back for the advantage.
I think the player was forward. So back again, it's Airforce. We saw some good tackles coming in over there. It was actually from Jero, who put down the Airforce men, giving some pressure for the kicker to kick as well. We saw quite a few penalties, Romario, in the past few minutes itself. So
yes, I think CRNFC have been found wanting at the breakdown early on in this game. And I think they will need to, the support players will need to be a bit more closer up in tight, because they do seem to be getting isolated at the breakdown.
Absolutely. This was the concern in the last game as well. So let's see in game progress whether they could actually come up with this. Not a clean take, and seems to be a small incident over there that happened.
Yes, I think the player was taken, the jumper was taken down in the air. and that's why the referee is going to have a chat with the captain, just telling his jumpers to keep the space.
I think player safety is vital, very important to know that taking on the eye is not a safety move. As you know, World Rugby has been pretty much concerned, especially in terms of even concussions, as well as player safety. And more often we see more yellow cards coming in to play. Once again, Airforce with the throw, a short man line out. Clean collected. Playing advantage. Hand is up once again. Trying for a small chip kick, as Idda Malgoda always does. Calling back. Seems like a penalty just under the post. About 40 meters away. Do you think that would they go for a kick?
High tackle there by the CRNFC player, and that's what the referee has bought play back for. As we see the replay, Gayantid the Malgoda, unfortunately the kick had a bit too much of weight on it.
Here is the mic working. Gents, I think the mic is not working once again. No. Sounds out.
So it'll be Gayantid the Malgoda.
No sounds. Hello. Testing. Testing once again. No, same. Testing.
It'll be Gayantid the Malgoda with the kick from the...
Okay. All right.
40 meter.
I'll be back live. So it is Gayantid the Malgoda taking on the kick just 40 meters away under the post. They will have the legs to take on. And
skewed off the boot there by Gayantid the Malgoda, and did not have any elevation or direction on that kick. But it'll be Airforce to receive the 22 meter restart.
opportunity once again to CRNFC to get out of the jail. Long cutout pass, trying to counter-attack Airforce. Some good tackles coming in. Fine tackling once again by Kalaniagoda. A good leg drive.
CRNFC defense seems to be working very hard, and they do win a reward for their hard work. The referee says the Airforce men just going over and not supporting their body weight. I think it's good to see some good rush defense by CRNFC. They isolate the second man, and somehow they did manage to win the penalty from the breakdown. And now Kavindu with the kick at goal. Captain Kavindu Di Costa from scrum half.
Absolutely. Once again, Jiro Dhananjay taking on that lead. Some big hit and a rush defense. Opportunity once again to CRNFC. This time the captain Kavindu Di Costa taking on the kicking duties.
Good kick there by Kavindu Di Costa, and he puts the home team in the lead as the referee calls for the 20-minute water stoppage. I think CRNFC will be not too pleased with the final 10 minutes of that half. I think Airforce managed to find their way back into the game.
Absolutely. Once again, it's a special game for CR. Like I actually mentioned, it's the 100th-year centenary anniversary for CR, as well as the first home game that they're playing in this season. So it's a big task to have that winning run for CR with coming to Kuetra's captaincy.
We are at the dawn of an astronomical digital metamorphosis, pioneered by the same indomitable spirit that continues to give life to your dreams. Every day, wherever you are in life's journey, this is the new frontier in banking, where limits are a thing.
So we are back here live from London Place, CRNFC grounds, as CRNFC Kanchana Ramanayaka takes the restart. Kavindu De Costa sets it up in midfield. Airforce just kicked off proceedings after the 20-minute water break, after they conceded a penalty.
Good run by Radeshan. Kick back once again. Not a clean pickup by Liner is being called. Should be a CRNFC throw. Some good defense we saw over there. I think it was good kick chasing, which resulted in Airforce making an error over there and ending up in a line out.
Yes, and just as I said before, the CRNFC defense seems to be rushing up. And I think they have started off well, but it'll be interesting to see how long they can sustain that rush defense for in this half and in this game, because this is just their second match for these players after a long break for the pandemic.
Of course, and the weather is not helping either. Pretty much hot weather, and that is why they have implemented a wonderful run. Kanchana Ramanayaka giving back to Gamanu Chetia. Jero over there, taking up the ball once again. That was a beautiful, clean move. Good tackle by Airforce player, taking on the man before you could. The player falling down.
Yes, the referee penalizes Murshid Dure for not supporting his body weight. The players a bit surprised with that call, but now Ishar with the opportunity to clear his lines and put CRNFC under a bit of pressure. But does he find touch? Doesn't look like so. And now Gamanu Chetia gives it on to Dure. He gives a cut-out pass to Gayan Dilshan. He runs hard and straight. Sets things up in the center. De Costa spots some space. And a good kick there by the captain. The ball bouncing in behind the Airforce defense and goes into touch. So some good play by CRNFC. I think they'll be happy that Airforce fortunately missed touch with that penalty and the counter attack. And now Airforce with everything to do for in their own half.
We've seen this in many occasions where while CRFC just building up the momentum, it's been break on over. So this is probably the third time. And once again, CR with the throw, a good opportunity, attacking opportunity. 10 meters away, unfortunately, a bit overthrown by the hooker. And Airforce has requested for a scrum. the new rule come into play. Yeah.
Yes, I think on that occasion, if the fans may be wondering why CR won the line out, it was because of the new rule that's in effect, the 50-22, and I think Kavindu hit it from inside his own half, inside his own 50-meter line, and bounced it out inside the opposition 22, and it was CRNFC's throw. But now Airforce with the opportunity to clear their lines, and they do so.
Here we see the line out. Good to see some spectators as well. I think the other side of the grounds. Tuan Jaya taking on the throwing duties for CRNFC in the absence of Supun. Good midfield hit by Jero. Some fancy passing trying to go there. Strong run by Gayan. CR with their fifth face. Not releasing, and once again an opportunity to CRNFC for a three-pointer to be back in the lead, to extend the lead rather. Kavindu Di Costa signaling at the post.
Thankfully for Johan Dananje, the referee called the ball was lost behind. As you can see the hand there in the ruck by the Airforce centre Surya Krishan, and penalised, rightly so. Now CRNFC with the opportunity to extend their lead.
Once again we see either the clearing is a bit delayed or the clearing is not that great. So this is what CR need to work on, especially clearing out the man and giving a clear ball to Kavindu Di Costa.
I think the players are still getting to know each other and getting to get the combinations. This was a completely new team for CR, as they lost close to 10 players to CHNFC. But Kavindu Di Costa makes no mistake with the conversion from right in front. 11 points to 7. CRNFC lead here at London Place.
Still it's just a 4-pointer lead. Airforce will be trying to come back and trying to bridge that gap, whereas CR need to try to increase or extend that lead as much as possible. Once again, a kick not going 10 meters. I think this is what Airforce need to work on. Probably their strategy is to have a contestable kick, but losing on, this is the second time that the kick didn't travel 10 meters. So giving the opportunity to CRNFC for a midfield scrum.
I think the coach will not be happy with the execution by Ishara Madhushan, fly half. CR with the chance to attack from this centre field scrum.
One thing when it comes to centre field scrum is you have the opportunities in both sides, whether it could be kicking or working out. So it's very difficult sometimes to defend as well. As you see, opportunity loss once again.
Yes, bit of a high pass there by the fullback, and unfortunately Aranda Harshana, the win three-quarter, did not manage to collect it and knocked it on.
Looks like a pretty strong lad. Looks like a Fijian as well, Aranga. Here once again we see CR not managing to capitalize that error made by Airforce and giving away the ball to Airforce. Good cutout pass, but tackled by Kanchan Ramanayaka. Holding on, was trying to hold on the man up to form a maul. Airforce back in action. Gayan Tiddemalguda, a cutout pass. Trying to go for that ball, but unfortunately holding on says. So we see even Airforce is trying to do the same, with trying to get that 10-meter advantage by taking the quick tap.
Yes, as we see the replay here, the play was brought down, but there seemed to be a hand in the ruck, which the referee deemed was illegal, and the captain took the quick tap and was unfortunately stopped by the hooker, impeded rather, and the referee called play back for the initial penalty and not 10 meters after that.
Once again, as referee signaled, I think he didn't show the daylight, so that is what it actually costed. People are still trying to go to the ball without showing the daylight, and it is important that they release the tackler and then go for the ball.
Yes, they do need to give the tackler an opportunity to play the ball, and by not releasing, they impact that opportunity, as Nuan Pereira makes no mistake with the penalty. 10 points to 11, so Airforce just trailing by a single point with around 9 minutes left in this first half.
Opportunity to CR. I think what is needed is, if they're planning a deep kick, that chase is very important. Or if it is a short kick, it's always good to contest. So let's see if it is going to be a long or a short one. Fairly good chase. And CRNFC Airforce player unfortunately not managing to collect that ball cleanly. So opportunity once again to CRNFC.
This time I think that was a good kick pressure there by CRNFC from the restart, and they managed to win the line out. So it'll be Dilshan Jaya to throw in. Yet again overthrown, unfortunately for CRNFC, as Kalanigoda is cleaned there at the breakdown, and now this time Airforce knock it on, and here goes the big number 8 bumping off the first defender. Kavindu runs quickly to the breakdown, gives it to the big prop forward, and he sets things up. The referee says no advantage, and he goes back for the early infringement. What was the knock on?
That was a good run actually by Dan Zaber. But then again, the attacking player, this is where that CR need to capitalize, especially when once you counter-attack after a mistake. The broken play is where you need to have that momentum, you need to have that punch and that pressure to the opposition side, because obviously they are not ready and they are in attacking mode still. So in order to switch on to that defensive mode, CR need to capitalize it and try to punch holes as possible.
Strong scrum there by Airforce, and here goes the captain. Quickly offloaded to the hooker Parakrama as he sets things up. Madhushan gave the ball off to his prop forward, and the referee goes back for the penalty, as Airforce seeming to get out of jail by these penalties that CR and FC are conceding.
Way too many penalties, I suppose. Perhaps about 5 or 6 penalties in the attacking half. Gante making no mistakes, putting the ball out to touch, just outside the 50-meter mark.
I think Ishan, Gayant, you also would have played with Gayant in the Malgoda. Do you recall any games with Airforce where he played?
Of course, I remember him. He playing as number 10. So, like I said, I mean, he has been instrumental in turning off the game, especially playing in that key vital position as fly half. Very safe in his kicking boots, and as you can see, he's feeding and protecting the ball as well over there. Gantha.
Quite unfortunate there. 2 knock-ons and CR and FC scrum. So it's great to see the longevity of a player. I think playing for a club as the Forcers. I think that also would have helped him a lot to continue throughout the years.
We see too many stoppages over here, as we saw so many errors by either teams.
I think the hot weather must be getting to the players. We are just about 4 minutes out of half time. This ball pops out of the scrum, and Kavindu does well to protect it and wait for support.
CR trying to set up until Kavindu Ducosta gets back on his feet. Might be looking for a kick. Yes. That's by Nalinda. Firm connection by Airforce. Trying to rip the ball off. Gamani Chetia, but unfortunately he couldn't. Airforce forming a wide line and trying to work the ball out or kick it. Clean take and calls for a mark. It's going to be a free kick. Seems to be a small incident, and the touch judge has spotted something. I suppose they might go for that. Seems to be a bit of a high tackle, if I'm not mistaken. So that is where probably the touch judge is actually pointing to. Warning for CRNFC team. So penalty call coming up.
The referee seemed to be going quite the way back inside the Airforce half, and not too sure what the incident.
As you can see,
yes.
I think it was slightly high. He was trying to take the ball, rip the ball off. As I said, the World Rugby is very much concerned in terms of the safety, and anything above the shoulder is called a high tackle and will be penalized.
Good deep kick there by Gandhi the Malgoda. Now Airforce with an opportunity just before the half time to maybe just get a surprise lead in this game.
Airforce forming for a line-out drive, one of their strongholds, and yes, it is. Siam trying to counter that. A good strong drive, a good well-organized line-out drive being and calls for a penalty. CR is all helter-skelter, and here seems we see Referee is trying to put his hands in his pocket. I hope it's nothing. And there goes the yellow card. So unfortunate. Number 7, Achita Radishan, have to go out. Sin bin for 10 minutes.
I think the CRNFC player brought down the maul illegally, and that's what the referee went for.
I think it was actually the 10 meter where the player was not actually given that 10 meter advantage. So that is where he was being penalized. So once again here, attacking opportunity to Airforce. I see the ball. CRs have the ball in hand. So also the kick actually went past the try line. So Sia has the opportunity to get out of the jail. So lucky Sia actually, just like the Army game. I think Sia is lucky enough once again to have that error.
Kavindu takes it quickly and puts the first half to an end. CRNFC lead in 11 points to 10. Slender lead. They go into Lemons here at London Place.
We didn't see a continuity actually in the first half. Both teams had some errors where it had so many breakdowns as well. So while CR is actually and Airforce is going for Lemons, probably they might regroup and reorganize. So once again we see the team card.
Yes, I think this was the 15 that started for CRNFC. No changes coming in after this first half. So there were a couple of changes in the back line with Dore coming into 12 and Gamru Chetia coming into the fullback jersey, as more or less the balance remained the same. And the front row, of course, Supun missing out due to his wedding, as Dilshan Jaya slotted in for him. And Shehan Kalanigoda made a start in the second row. For Airforce, they did stick with pretty much the same backline. Nuan Perera, the skipper, at 9, Ishara Madhushan 10, and Surya Krishan Gandhi Damalgoda in the centres, as Pramod Padmasankar, Darshana Dabre and Faris Ali remained at fullback.
Hello.
So we can...
Avi, hello.
Check. Yes, and that was the Airforce lineup. So Parakram Ratnayaka was is the hooker, as Airforce unfortunately go in with just a single point deficit. So it's 11-10 in favor of CRNFC at London Place.
We can see NDB Bank, proud sponsor for CRNFC. Our commitment, your success. That's the tagline.
Yes, and these were the first half highlights. Harshan was the first try assist for CRNFC, as they found themselves getting in the early lead thanks to Gamru Chetia. And after that, it was Airforce who struck a beautiful bit of hands by the forwards. Parakrama setting up the second row player to dive under the post, and the kick took Airforce into the lead. But after that, a penalty off the boot of Kavindu Di Costa got the lead back in favor of CRNFC, as actually second one, which was the turning point, and they got ahead 11 points to 10, as Nuan drove it back to 11-10, and unfortunately Airforce did not manage to get the try just before halftime, so they go in with a single point deficit. and everything to play for, as they are coming off a big defeat from last week.
I think first half it was 12 points to 15. They were trying to hold on Candy, but Candy in the second half, I think, winning quite comfortably, 36 points to 15, I suppose. So Air Force again, second half, wasn't managed to hold on to their breath.
We are at the dawn of an astronomical digital metamorphosis, pioneered by the same indomitable spirit that continues to give life to your dreams. Every day, wherever you are in life's journey, this is the new frontier in banking, where limits are a thing of past. NDB Bank, the future is banking on us. We are at the dawn of an astronomical digital metamorphosis, pioneered by the same indomitable spirit that continues to give life to your dreams. Every day, wherever you are in life's journey, this is the new frontier in banking, where limits are a thing of the past. NDB Bank, the future is banking on us. We are at the dawn of an astronomical digital metamorphosis, pioneered by the same indomitable spirit that continues to give life to your dreams. Every day, wherever you are in life's journey, this is the new frontier in banking, where limits are a thing of the past. NDB Bank, the future is banking on us.
RNFC as Airforce were caught obstructing the defense, and so it'll be Dore playing in the number 12 jumper, going to put the kick into touch.
Early on opportunity.
So early on in this second half, Airforce will have, rather CRNFC will have an opportunity to extend their slender lead.
Sia might go for an all-out drive, a rolling ball probably. That is what they have been doing best.
Good.
But unfortunately, a good contest and not a clean line out.
Great steal by the Airforce jumper, but unfortunately the ball bounces and goes back into touch. So it'll be another line out in favor of CRNFC and a second chance for them.
Sia need to get their basics right. First of all, catch the line out before they consider drive. I don't think Airforce will be contesting over here, but they seem to be in the contesting mood, so probably they would. Setting up for a drive as they do the best. Airforce trying to hold up strong. They are rather going sideways and not straight. And here it is. CRNFC crossed the line, but Airforce managed to hold up. So call for a penalty.
Yes, the referee penalized Airforce for incorrectly entering the mall, and now CRNFC continue to apply the pressure and call for a scrum. So 5 meters out and everything to play for CR, and you can see the back line as well forming quite deep for CRNFC.
Zube Dore, an impact player, ready to receive the scrum from the line-out position. Don't forget that CI is actually playing with one man down. That is Radishan out. He was in bind. So they are playing with 7 members. And it is vital that they hold on to this line, the scrum, with strong Airforce men. Their flanker number 6 breaking on early and penalizing Airforce once again, just 5 meters away. Captain deciding whether it's going to be a scrum or a line out, and he opts for a scrum.
So Airforce, I think they need to be a bit careful with conceding so many penalties in the red zone, and the referee as well will be having a close eye on this scrum.
Zube Dore once again. Ball pops out. Sia was lucky enough, actually, it was not a clear grab. And setting up, strong run by Gayan Dilshan. Some pressure from Airforce. Once again, pick and go, going to that low body position. Coming to the Costa, calling on for more men to support. Fantastic drive, but unfortunately not managing to stay in his feet and falling off. And Airforce winning the penalty.
Yes, another penalty in favor of Airforce. And I think the CR defense, the attackers will be kicking themselves for not supporting their body weight. I think they got a bit tired and the support player just left his feet straight away. You can see there. Looks like it was Gayan Dilshan on that occasion penalized for not supporting his body weight.
It is vital that CR try to convert. It is vital that CR try to convert these penalties and these mistakes into points. So they have been camping for the past 5 minutes in the Airforce red zone territory, but unfortunately not managing to get those points. And Airforce opportunity to get out of the jail.
But they do not manage to do so. Faris Ali's kick not finding touch. And here goes Gamanu Jaitya, beats the first man and sets the ball up, but is penalized again for the extra roll.
Here again we see the support player not coming in quick. And it was a wonderful run actually by Gamanu Jaitya, stepping up one and the second one, beating 3 players over there. But Airforce was strong enough to go into that grab so quickly.
I think CR will be desperately disappointed with how that passage of play ended. They were there in the opposition 5-meter line on a couple of occasions, but failed to get any points on the board.
CR is missing Supur Warnakule as well. Probably he's honeymooning right now, but unfortunately I think his expertise was lacking over there, so that is why CR didn't have the confidence to go for the line out. And here a strong run by Airforce.
Good strong run there by Surya Krishan as Nuwan Pereira gives it out to Ishara and he drops it short. Now Ishara Madhushan gives it out the back of the door. Gayantidda Malgoda just throws it helter-skelter. But bit of a high tackle there. Not so, says the referee. Just goes for the line out. Unfortunately not from the correct mark, says the referee. So we'll have to do it all over again.
So Kanchan, I think, identifying Gayantidda Malgoda, and before he actually could make a move, he was managed to close that gap and try to put pressure on him. That costed Airforce not being able to penetrate that line. Once again, CRNFC with the put-in at the scrum. Here we see back again the sin bin player Radishan coming in. Change. I think there's a change in the front row for Airforce. Number 23, Dilshan Farid is in to give that extra power in the pack. Radishan is still out, I suppose, the one who was actually yellow carded.
Yes, indeed, and I think he's left with a minute or so to go on the clock for the yellow card to return as Kavindu Di Costa feeds the scrum. Good pressure coming in by Airforce, but CR managed to hold possession thanks to Zubair, and good counter coming in, pressure coming in by Airforce Sports Club, but CR somehow managed to hold on.
CR using that blind side and Kavindu preparing for a chip kick. Yes, good up and under. Pressure coming in from all sides. Players been isolated. Coming support, but Airforce managing to actually hold on to that CRNFC pressure. So I suppose again the 50-22. So it's going to be the Airforce throw-in.
Yes, lovely kick there by Nuwan Pereira, spotting the space at the back and just drop it in an end-on-end kick. and it bounced into touch, and now Airforce with an attacking chance.
That was a wonderful kick actually from the base. Spotted that 22 gap, managing to win that line out.
The new man straight into the line out action for Airforce. Good strong throw, lovely collection. Airforce small coming in, bit stagnant, but somehow they get the second shove through and recycled possession by Ishara Madhushan. Can't hit the Malgoda caught in defense, and fortunately does not manage to do so. The referee says the Airforce, rather the CR men, entered that ruck incorrectly. As we see this pass from Kayant the Malgoda was caught before he could have passed it, Zubair, but the referee penalizing, I think it was Zubair for not rolling away rather. Straight away, Airforce with an opportunity. Will they go for the points? Yes, and looks like they are.
Just few meters away from the right post, going for the kick. This is the Airforce to be in the lead. Kick goes through and that's a lead. Kick goes through and that's a lead. 13 points to 11. CRNFC this time in the back foot, and Airforce for the first time being in the lead.
Khalidunandila preparing to restart proceedings. A good deep restart kick collected by the big forward for Airforce Sports Club. And play set up, looking to go for the clearance kick, but before that they set up another quick face. But this time now the Airforce players have been penalized for not supporting their body weight.
This time, once again, an opportunity to see RNFC to be in the lead. Calling on for a kicking tee. So let's see who's going to take the kicking duties.
Yes, and rightly so. I think the referee penalized the player with the scrum cap. Went straight over without supporting his body weight, and it'll be Kavindu Di Costa with the kicking duties.
Zubair Dure ensuring that players are behind the kicker and to have that chasers.
But unfortunately, Kavindu Di Costa puts it away right in front of us. And now Airforce still with the slender 2-point lead and an opportunity to get out of jail with the 22-meter restart. Another deep kick by Ishara, and Kalindu Nandila gives it out to Gamunu Chetia. Here goes the captain Kavindu Di Costa, beating a couple of men. Kanchan Ramanayaka on the wing, beat the first defender. And the ball has been turned over, and now Nuwan, the skipper, running after his own kick. Gamunu Chetia throws it out to Zubair as he clears the lines, and an opportunity for the players to catch their breath.
Again, we see over there that the player was isolated, and Airforce going into that ball and ripping it off.
Well. I think the referee has called this, deemed this pass forward, and CRNFC have been pinned in their own 22 with a defensive scrum now, and all of a sudden the pressure shifting on the home team.
Seems like Airforce is just building up the momentum, and CRN is losing the other hand. CR is back with 8 in the pack, so all 15 is there. Ball just pops out.
Good switch there by Ishara Madhushan, and he sets things up. CRNFC straight away on the back foot. The Airforce forwards keeping the ball up close. And they continue to drive forward inch by inch as Nuan Perra gives it out to Ishara. He puts on some footwork, but the defense soon encroaches him, and yet again Airforce look to go with their forwards.
I think Shamli's favorite when it comes to pick and drive. They're doing it quite well, and as we just speak,
I think for the second time in as many minutes, the same player penalized for Airforce Sports Club for not supporting his body weight at the breakdown. And yet again another attacking opportunity nipped in the bud by a bit of ill discipline. Cheeky play there by Dore. Just a tiny shoelace and getting an extra couple of seconds to catch his breath. But the touch kick isn't found. And the referee having a quick chat with his touch judge. The knock-on goes in favor of CRNFC as we see the replay by Dore put the crossfield kick, and quite a tough decision. But in the end, it goes in favor of the home team.
I think referee was spot on over there. Dilshan Farid, the reserve player, missing that kick.
I think Dore just caught everyone off guard there by going to the opposite end. But unfortunately, the kick had just a touch too much of weight on it as the ball is cleared off the base at the scrum. Dore beats the first man, beats the second man, sets things up. Good support play coming in. Kavindu gives it out to Kalindu Nandila, and not too good of a kick there. Straight down the center, and the Airforce man bounces off the center of CRNFC, but the ball is turned over illegally, says the referee. Shehan Kalni got penalized there for not releasing the tackler. The referee just going back to have a quick word with the captain of CRNFC. So both teams just squandering opportunities, attacking ball, and neither attacks managing to penetrate their opposite defense.
What a thundering kick it is, just 5 meters away from CR try line. Fantastic kick. And this puts CRNFC under pressure, and Airforce comes up with high confidence for their line-up through.
Yes, I think a lovely kick there by the Airforce fly half, and He carved off plenty of meters, and now Airforce with a primed attack in position. The referee not happy with something, and he calls play back. And thankfully for Airforce, they have a second opportunity.
I think both teams are actually struggling when it comes to lineouts with their throwers. As we saw with CR as well as Airforce as well. Managed to getting it clean and trying to create that driving maul. CR put in tremendous pressure. Good defense in their fringes. Airforce trying to set up wide. Airforce trying to set up wide. And using the blind side.
Great defense there by the CR lads. And the Airforce number 23, Dilshan Farid, bundled into touch. But unfortunately, the referee has pulled play back and gone in for the advantage. So Airforce is still with possession. The maul was brought down incorrectly by, says the referee. So now Airforce with a third chance rather. Dilshan Farid, this time overthrown, but thankfully falls on the same side of Airforce as Nuwan Pereira sets things up. But this time the referee says holding on in favor of CRNFC.
All right. So once again, error by Airforce, costing it badly. It was a good opportunity for Airforce to score and be on the lead, to extend their lead rather. Still Airforce is leading 13 points to 11. As you can see, some spectators over there as well. Opportunity here for CRNFC to get out of this defending zone. They have been here for quite some time. Long line out, but unfortunately not straight. Calls the referee. Which goes for a scrum for Airforce.
Scrappy play there by both teams, and I think the game has really got slow in this second half. Stop-start with neither team managing to find any momentum. As more changes come in for Airforce in the front row.
So it is Airforce with the put in. Two new forwards, two new front rows. Like you correctly said, Romario, 2 minute stoppages. There's no momentum moving forward. I think Airforce has been camping in this half for the past 10-15 minutes or so.
Yeah, actually, neither team have helped the opposition even by just holding on to position or putting them under pressure at least. So it has been an extremely stop-start affair here at CRNFC, the second half.
Absolutely. Number 8 break comes in. Radishan taking that first tackle with Dian Zaber rather. Quick clearance from Airforce, man being isolated, but quick support coming in. Airforce playing this piston style. Short side and out. Referee spots something and calls for a low card, Zion Zaber. Probably for a shoulder charge. And that is dangerous. And here it is, an opportunity to Air Force to extend the lead. Calling for a shot at goal.
Yes, I think this is too much of an easy penalty to just turn down. As we see the replay there, the number 8 just diving in without any hands, as Nuan Pereira prepares to put his to rather extend the lead for Airforce Sports Club and get the first points in this second half. Nuan Pereira makes no mistake from right in front. So it's 16 points to 11 in favor of Airforce Sports Club as we approach the final 15 minutes of the game. And it'll turn out to be an interesting 15 minutes as the CR have to claw their way back, finding themselves down by 5 points.
Absolutely, CR have to score a goal to go back on the lead. Whereas Air Force trying to maintain that composure that they build up. High hanging kick, good tackle, good defense by CR. But Air Force recovered very well.
Dangerous play there by the reserve flank Supun, getting an offload right inside his own 22, and a lovely tackle coming in there by the two CRNFC lads. And Nuan Pereira says thank you very much, enough is enough, and gets the kick away by Ishar, but unfortunately charged down, but bounces into touch, and it will be an Airforce line out. But still so much of pressure inside, having been stuck inside their own 22 for quite some time now, Air Force.
We saw some good tackles, some double tackles taking on Air Force. And over here we saw the charge as well. So seems some momentum has been built up after probably losing in about 5 points, trailing with 5 points.
Airforce opting for a shortened line out. A quick line out off the top, and a quick inside ball coming in for Faris Ali as he sets things up. Now Ishara, a low ball collected quite well, but yet again they go back to play for the advantage as the referee seems to be having a bit of a chat with the Airforce skipper. You see that good collection there of the bootlaces of Ishar Madhushan, and he somehow managed to find a touch, but thankfully for Airforce they went back for the penalty in favor of the defending side. Can see a CRNFC player getting some attention, and that's what the hold-up is about. So Dilshan Jaya just getting a bit of attention and shrugs it off and runs straight back into play.
Not quite sure what that penalty was. But opportunity to Air Force. Good clean kick coming in. Just under 40-meter mark.
CR defense will have to put their hand up once again, as they have done right throughout this game. Shehan Kalnigoda preparing to contest.
You can see Shamli Nawaz on the screen with Dylan Zoiza.
Another line out picked there by CRNFC off the opposition ball. But they unfortunately concede yet another penalty. Holding on this time, says referee Veranga, as the stop-start game continues here at London Place.
There goes the two commentators, Shumari De Silva and Ishan Noor. Nice to see our names in the screen.
This was why the penalty was conceded. As
you can see, I think referee giving the reason for the penalty. This was why it was conceded. The man on the ground trying to take a couple of steps, unfortunately losing. Batagoda, Indura Ranatunga out of the field. He had a couple of good runs actually. So big lad. Unfortunately, CR is actually losing and probably a replacement hooker. We can see Dan Zaber out there. Sinbind, he might be away for probably the next 5 minutes or so. Fantastic impact player, had a good game in the last match against Army. Couple of yellow cards as well.
another good touch finder by the Airforce skipper. So now CRNFC will have some defensive duties.
We are yet to testing. We are yet to see a run actually from CRNFC line, working on that line. That is not happening, that we didn't see it as of yet. Especially the run from Kanchan Ramanayake that we saw, overthrow from Airforce, opportunity for CRNFC. Good drive, but unfortunately losing the ball in the process, and back again opportunity for Airforce.
Yes, I think the play has been in shambles, as the kick from Nuan does not have too much of depth on it. The referee goes back for the earlier infringement, the first knock on.
Unfortunately, Radishan had a very good run, but he didn't manage to keep the ball with him, losing it in the contact. And referee calling for a scrum. CI is once again down with only 7 players to counter the mighty Airforce pack. And calling for another stoppage.
This second half has been extremely with so many stoppages, and neither team has managed to find their footing, nor they have managed to put the opposition defense under any pressure. So I think if you're the CR or the Airforce coaching staff, I think there'll be a lot to improve going on in this rugby league season for 2022.
Absolutely. I think Airforce and the previous game, the Forcers have been a tough opponent for CR. Seems like very important that they reorganize properly. As you can see, in card, pretty much strong names as you can see. I mean, some young lads, but Zubair Dore and Kanchan Ramanayake in the midfield could do wonders. Actually, we saw that without Zubair last week. But this week with him, I think CR could have punched those line, but haven't had the opportunity. That break on that line, we haven't seen it as at yet, working on the line.
This time the ball was stopped by the number 8 at his foot. And now Nuwan Pereira sets it up through the big prop forward. Airforce still with possession.
As we come to the last 10 minutes of the play, Airforce trying to regroup and trying to put some points on board to secure their win. Whereas CR trying very hard to try to turn over the ball.
Shehan Kalaniagoda not doing any favours for Nuwan Pereira as he gives it to the number 8. He sets things up, Gimhana Silva. Airforce going side to side and trying to engineer something to break, find a hole in this CR defence. But the defenders are managing to hold on and they're doing some good bit of hard work there. But this time the referee says that was uncalled for, lads.
Once again, just under the post, opportunity for Airforce to gain an 8-point lead. That's going to be a tough comeback for CR if he managed to put that kick through.
Yes, and that earlier penalty came for Shehan Kalaniagoda not entered in the ruck from behind the hindmost foot, rather entering it incorrectly, is what the referee deemed to it have been.
I think CR need to identify what type of play that Airforce is playing. We actually saw this for probably about a couple of times earlier as well. The piston formation, hit on the left, hit on the right, again blind side and open side. So if CR can counter that, they could have actually cut off the attacking move.
But Nuwan Pereira makes no mistake from the tee and extends the Airforce lead to 19 points to 11. So CRNFC have not been able to manage any points in this second half. So it's quite surprising having them been playing on their home strip. But now they have gone 8 points behind and a converted try will not be enough. So plenty on the CR lads' plate.
Of course, 6 more minutes of play. So again, Airforce making an error. So this is where CR need to capitalize on these errors and they cannot try to delay this. They need to get their push and get their momentum back. A fine opportunity over here. I think Airforce will definitely try to put pressure, knowing that there's a bit of a weakness in CRNFC lineouts. That was a clean take. Good break over there. Kavindu trying to work the line and missing a golden opportunity once again.
Butterfingers there by Johan Dilanje. Unfortunately, a bit of sweat and the ball is also not helping his cause. Dropped it cold, and has he dropped CRNFC's chances as well with that?
I think the line was just forming for a good attacking move. And over here, once again, putting the blame on the prop forward, Johan Dilanje. Sudian Zaber back on the field. So again, CR playing with 8 members. Just scoring a goal is not enough from Mario. I think they need to go for another point as well, because as you can see, Airforce is leading by 8 points.
Yes, indeed, and everything to do for CRNFC But if you are an Airforce supporter, I think you'll be just wishing them to hold on to possession. Ishar puts in a bit of a grubber kick, but unfortunately that too went out on the full. So now,
So as you can see, CI is trying to hurry the game. Another opportunity for Sia, a short man line out. A midfield hit and a line workout can be expected or coming on the shot. Clock is ticking, Sia doesn't have much time. And another lucky enough to actually grab that ball once again.
well, another overthrow there, but thankfully CRNFC and the hooker Dilshan Jaya, it has been knocked on by Airforce at the line out. So still CR with possession, but time soon running out on them.
Referee could have. I thought referee was playing advantage, but probably Air Force player tried to grab the ball. So once again, clock is ticking and every single second is precious for Sia. So it's 77th minute. That's 2.5 minutes more. Like I mentioned, it's not just a score, but Sia have to score twice. Here it is moving the line. Gyamanu Chetia popping up the ball. Quickly moving swiftly. Midfield hit by Dayan. Strong run by Sia number 8. And once again, given away the penalty.
Yes, the referee penalizes Dilshan Jaya there on that occasion for not for incorrectly entering the ruck, and I think CRNFC's chances are slowly but surely dying down as we see this good run by the CRNFC win 3/4 Eran Daharshan, and good quick ball came. Zaba gained some good meters with a good leg drive, but unfortunately Zaba wasn't able to support his body weight and was so time was quickly running out on CRNFC as another Airforce player is being attended to on the field.
I think referees whistle blew more than 100 times for this whole game. Unfortunately, there were too many stoppages as well, so broke the momentum. But here once again, penalty for Air Force.
I think Ishar just rightly so puts it into touch and chews down a few more minutes off the clock. So Airforce are in a prime position to hold this game out, and all they need to do is just hold on to possession for another couple of minutes, and that will see out things for them for their first victory in this Sri Lanka Rugby League for 2022. Dilshan Farid it will be to throw into the line out. Yet again another overthrow, but thankfully held on to by the Air Force players. So Nuwan Pereira.
Air Force will try everything to slow down the game right now. As you can see, they are setting up the piston formation. And calls for a forward pass.
Beautiful break there, but unfortunately the referee says the pass did not travel backward out of the hands, and unfortunately for Gayan Tidda Malgoda, that quick setup was brought to an abrupt end. The scrum set by CRNFC. Kanchana Ramanaka brought into the attack, bouncing off a couple of players and getting the offload away. Here goes Dore, beats the first man. Yasas Kavindu, in fact, that was. And now Gayan Dilshan running in hard and straight, setting things up, goes on the short side, Kavindu. But unfortunately, another knock on, dropped cold there by the CRNFC player. And Nuan Pera puts a boot to ball, and the ball seems to be hanging in the field of play. And thankfully, well, I speak too soon. But unfortunately, the ball was knocked on by the CR lad. And play comes back all the way back into their own half for CRNFC. And I think that was more or less the story of this game for CRNFC.
Of course, as CR was actually gaining some momentum, once again an error. Unfortunately, and over here we can see once again, playing under pressure, the ball was not picked up properly by Kanchana. That's the 80th minute in our clock, but referee's clock, probably there are another few more seconds left, I suppose. Scrum right in Airforce half territory.
Still the referee puts time back on now. And the final few seconds of this game for Airforce to just hold on. So it'll be Nuan Perra to feed the scrum. The number 8 Gimhana Silva breaks down the short side and gets the offload away. But Faris Ali is put down with a good double tackle. Now Ishara drops it off short to his forwards. And the set-in play for a drop goal. Ishara, does it go through? Well, looks as if it hasn't. But it doesn't matter, as CRNFC are defeated on their home patch. 11 points to 19 by the surprise package, Airforce Sports Club. 19 points. I think CRNFC will be thoroughly disappointed with their second half performance. And Airforce, on that matter, they'll be extremely satisfied with how they fought back and fought back hard. Unfortunately, a few injury scares for Airforce Sports Club. But all in all, they will be happy to take the points of this CRNFC team, this young CRNFC team. So the final score reads 19 points to 11 in favor of Airforce Sports Club. Quite a stop-start game here in the second half, especially at London Place, as we see the CRNFC lads with their heads dropped down. They'll be thoroughly disappointed with the second half performance for a second week in the run-in. Even last week, their second half performance let them down against Airforce Sports Club. I think it's the fatigue that sneaks in, and CRNFC lads, unfortunately, runs out of ideas. As we see the highlights of the game, the first try was set up by the CRNFC winger, beat his man on the outside, then got a lovely offload away to Gamanu Chetia as he just strolled his way to the try line. And early on, CRNFC managed to get a good lead. However, they conceded to some lovely bit of quick hands by the Airforce forwards. And it was Ravindu Hettiarachi who dived over for Airforce Sports Club to draw things back. with this conversion of the boot of Nuan Pereira. And after that, it was Kavindu Di Costa with a couple of penalties that notched up the 11 points for CRNFC. He made no mistake from in front as he grabbed the lead back again in favor of the home team. But in the dying moments of the first half, Nuan Pereira, he too managed a good few penalties and conversions of the tee, and went into the break trailing by a single point. And then on the second half, there were just a couple of penalties by Nuan Pereira, which saw Airforce home. Three penalties in the second half was what Nuan Pereira managed. All in all, he managed 4 penalties throughout this game, as CRNFC managed 1 try, and a couple of penalties, while Airforce Sports Club managed a converted try and 4 penalties to come away with the victory at London Place. So CRNFC will have plenty of points to work on as this league tournament goes forward. But if you are an Airforce supporter, I think they'll be extremely pleased with the second half that helped them get their first win in this rugby league tournament. So we will go in for a short commercial break, and we will be back with a quick interview on the other side.
We are at the dawn of an astronomical digital metamorphosis, pioneered by the same indomitable spirit that continues to give life to your dreams. Every day, wherever you are in life's journey, this is the new frontier in banking, where limits are a thing of the past. NDB Bank, the future is banking on us. We are at the dawn of an astronomical digital metamorphosis, pioneered by the same indomitable spirit that continues to give life to your dreams. Every day, wherever you are in life's journey, this is the new frontier in banking, where limits are a thing of the past. NDB Bank, the future is banking on us.
Very good evening, ladies and gentlemen, here once again at CRNFC grounds. We just witnessed a fabulous game. Airforce being the underdogs, coming in strong after the first half being led by CRNFC. So we here with us the skipper of Airforce, Nuan. So කොහොමද Nuan අද ගේම් එක ගැන මොනවද කියන්න තියෙන්නේ? මම හිතන්නේ හොඳ ෆස්ට් හාෆ් එකක් තිබ්බා CRNFC but second half එකේ උකන ස්ට්‍රෝන්ග්ලි ආවා. ඒ ගැන මොනවද කියන්න තියෙන්නේ?
ඔව් හොඳයි, මේ අපේ ටීම් එකක් විදිහට සෙල්ලම් කරා. ඒ නිසා වින් එක ආවා අපිට.
මොනවද උගන්ගේ බරාතුවරත මම හිතන්නේ විශේෂයෙන් පහුගිය මැච් එකෙන් කැන්ඩි මැච් එකෙන් පස්සේ මම හිතන්නේ පරිදුනාන් පස්සේ ඔයගලන්ගේ ටීම් ප්‍රෙපරේෂන් එක කොහොමද and ඉදිරියට මොනවද කරන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ ස්පෙෂලි අනිත් ගේම්ස් එක්ක?
මේ කැන්ඩි මැච් එකත් ඊට වැඩිය හොඳට ගැහුවා අපි. මේ කියන්නේ අවුරුදු දෙකකට පස්සේ ගහන පළවෙනි මැච් එක. ඒක ටීම් එකක් වශයෙන් ඒකත් හොඳට උඩට ආවා. අපි අන්තිම විනාඩි දෙක තුනේ තමයි ඒකෙත් මේ වුනේ. ඒව හදාගෙන මේ මැච් එකට ආවා. ඒ වගේම තමයි මුළු ටූර්නමන්ට් එකේම උඩට එන්න බලාගෙන ලොකු බලාපොරොත්තුවක් තියෙනවා.
කොහොමද සීනියර් ප්ලේයර්ස් ස්පෙෂලි ගායන ඉද්දමල්ගොඩ ඉන්නවා ඊට අමතරව සමහර තව සීනියර් ප්ලේයර්ස්ලා ඉන්න ඒගොල්ලන්ගෙන් සහාය කොහොමද ස්පෙෂලි මේ ටීම් එක
ගොඩක් හම්බ වෙනවා ගායන ඉද්දමල්ගොඩ චරිත් සෙනවිරත්න ක්‍රිසාන් සෑන්ඩ් කැප්ටන්ලා 3-4ක් ඉන්නවා. ලොකු අර හිතනට වැඩිය ලොකු මට ප්‍රෙෂර් එකක් හම්බෙන්නේ නැහැ. එයාලා ගොඩක් උඩට අරන් එනවා.
All right, all the best for you, Nuwan, for the future games. Thank you. All right, that was the winning captain, Nuwan Pereira, and we have the losing captain, the 100th-year centenary anniversary. As you all know, that CRNSV will be celebrating, but unfortunately, it was a game that it was went away from CR. So here we are, Kavindu De Costa. මම හිතන්නේ හොඳ ෆයිට් එකක් දුන්නා. He took the responsibility of kicking boots as well. මොකද හිතන්නේ කවින්දු අද ගේම් එක ගැන? First of all, tough luck. කොහොමද මේ තරගයේ සඳහා සූදානම?
ගොඩක් ඒරියස් තියෙනවා ඉම්ප්‍රූව් කරගන්න. යන් සයිඩ් එකක් ඉන්නේ. ඉතින් ලොකු එෆර්ට් එකක් දාන්න වෙනවා තව අපිට ඉම්ප්‍රූව් කරගන්න ඒරියස්.
මම හිතන්නේ ගිය පාර මැච් එකකිනුත් දෙතුන් දෙනෙක් කොවිඩ් ටෙස්ට් පොසිටිව් හින්දා නැති වෙලා හිටියා. නමුත් මේ පාරත් ස්පෙෂලි සුපුන් වර්ණකුල සූරිය වගේ ක්ලේ කෙනෙක් නැතිවීම සම්බන්ධයෙන් මම හිතන්නේ ලයින් අවුට් ඩ්‍රයිව් එකකින් එතන ලොකු මොමන්ටම් එකක් අඩු වුණා. ඒක සම්බන්ධයෙන් කොහොමද සුපුන් අපේ අනිත් ගේම් වලට ඉන්නවද? ඊට අමතරව මොනවද කොහොමද එතන බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ තව ඉම්ප්‍රූව් කරන්න?
සුපුන් නෙක්ස්ට් මැච් එකට ජොයින් වෙයි. ඉතින් එතකන් මේක අපේ ටීම් එකේ අනිත් ප්ලේයර්ස්ලා ලොකු ඇඩ්වාන්ටේජ් එකක් ඔපචුනිටි එකක් මේක. ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ මොනවද කරන්න පුළුවන් ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ පෙන්වන්න. ඉතින් මේ විදිහට තමයි ඉස්සරහට තව ස්ටෙප් එකක් අපි ඉස්සරහට තියන්න තමයි බලාපොරොත්තු.
කැප්ටන් වශයෙන් මොනවද තව බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ ස්පෙෂලි මේක CRNFC එකේ 100th year එක as මේ 7th anniversary එක. so මම හිතන්නේ තව ගේම්ස් 6කට වඩා තියෙනවා. ඒක සම්බන්ධයෙන් කොහොමද ප්‍රිපරේෂන් එක වාට හිතනවාද මේ ටීම් එක තව ඉදිරියට ගෙනියන්න පුළුවන් වේද? කොහොමද ගෙනියන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා කැප්ටන් කෙනෙක් හැටියට?
ඉස්සරහම ස්ටෙප් බයි ස්ටෙප් තමයි යන්නේ. මැච් එකෙන් මැච් එකට ફોකස් කරන්නේ. දැන් ෆෝකස් එක ඊළඟට තියෙන මැච් එක CH මැච් එකට තමයි. ඉතින් ලොකු එක්ස්පීරියන්ස් ටීම් එකක්. ඉතින් ඒ මැච් එක ඉස්සලාම් ෆෝකස් කරලා ඊට පස්සේ තමයි අපි නෙක්ස්ට් මැච් එකට ෆෝකස්.
So that was CRNFC captain Kavindu De Costa. Unfortunately, tough luck Kavindu, and all the very best for the next of the season. So here it is. We are end of our session at Quadrangle. We witnessed a wonderful game, like I actually mentioned, and we'll be hoping to cover the next games as well. Here and out from CRNFC, my club, my rugby, and the home of rugby as they call, CRNFC. Thank you and good night.
So that's a wrap here at CRNFC London Place. It was Airforce who managed 19 points to 11 to defeat the home team. And until next time, it's goodbye and good night from London Place.
We are at the dawn of an astronomical digital metamorphosis, pioneered by the same indomitable spirit that continues to give life to your dreams. Every day, wherever you are in life's journey, this is the new frontier in banking, where limits are a thing of the past. NDB Bank, the future is banking on us.